Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Today we're talking about pivoting, and any smart entrepreneur takes something like the pandemic and the financial crisis that followed and says, how do I adjust my business to deal with this? To talk about that, Jennifer Taylor, she's the owner of Bon Appetit, y'all. I love that name.
Thank you.
It's a catering company, an entertainment company, and venue company. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very
Glad
cool.
to be here.
Okay, you have several different entities, so why don't you describe all of them?
So we have Bon Appetit, y'all, which is kind of the umbrella company, and that is our main catering company, floral design, coordination, rentals of all the beautiful things for tables, cake design, all of those sort of things.
That's awesome. And these venues, and it all kind of ties together, right?
Yes, so then we have Old Quail Run Farm, which is a 100-year-old farmstead that we purchased and redid, and has a barn, and we have concerts there and farm-to-table dinners. We host weddings there, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything you just described got hit by the pandemic.
Everything.
Like everything.
Yes.
Right?
And we also have Bay at the Lake,
Okay.
which is a second location, which is a music venue and restaurant. One side of the building is. And so, yes, hard hit by COVID.
Yes. Okay, so how did you pivot?
So in the first shutdown, the immediate pivot was really push fresh food, casseroles, dinner to go, meals to go. And that business immediately shot through the roof because when the first shutdown happened, we, on the Monday after, had, I can't even tell you how many dozens of phone calls for all of the weddings. We had 42 brides already scheduled for this year.
Wow.
And so a lot of those brides immediately called, very concerned, worried about their weddings and how can we get them moved, what is our options. And so there was a massive fallout for about a week of wondering how we're going to pivot and move and get all of these people taken care of.
Yes.
So
you were telling me off camera that you're doing a lot of smaller gatherings now, which is kind of intimate.
I've loved it. So a lot of the brides have, after moving their wedding once and have still not been able to have their big, beautiful wedding, have decided to do a backyard gathering or a very small venue gathering. And so we have been doing a lot of 50-person and under weddings.
Awesome.
Where we come in and we do the complete tablescapes and florals and the cake and the catering, and we take care of everything for them for this intimate gathering. And I just love it.
Yes, well, your attention to detail is off the charts. We want to share some pictures off of your website. Just, oh my God, that's so yummy. Tell us what we're looking at here.
This is some of our lunches to go from our 2 locations in Sherman and Pottsboro. This is from a wedding cheese and charcuterie display. We've kind of become famous for our cheese and charcuterie displays. We are very famous also for our very fresh food, farm to table. This is at the farm, at Old Quail Run Farm. This is one of our dinners. We do wine pairing dinners. Just, getting back to basics. I started being taught by my grandmother at the age of 9, 10, living in the garden with them and you really taking food from the yard into the house and creating beautiful meals with that. And so that's where that began with me. And I had someone interview me not too long ago about this farm to table craze, and I said and they asked me if I'd gone to school to learn it, and I said, yeah, I went to school when I was, a young child with my grandmother,
Yes.
picking everything out of the garden and bringing it in and learning how to prepare it. So I don't think it's everything that's old comes back around, and the whole farm to table craze and movement, as you would, I think is part of our whole movement in the country of getting back to basics and knowing where our food comes from, and that's very, very important to me. So
I know that creating an experience
Yes.
is something that's really, really important to you.
It is.
For the bride, it's her big day.
Yes.
For a small celebration, it's something that they'll remember forever.
Yes.
Where does that passion for excellence come from?
Oh, it's such a passion. It does come from my grandmother, from my parents, I just have a long history of gathering. And from the time I started having children, I wanted to create experiences for people. If it was in my home, or then I started doing it for people that I knew where I was close with. And then about 18 years ago, I bought my first catering business, took over. It was kind of crazy in Arkansas. I had a partner, and we began doing fresh food there. And we started getting requests for weddings, and my partner was not interested in that at all, but I fell in love with it, going and creating every detail of this experience.
Yes.
So.
Well, I know my crystal ball is a little foggy, and I'm sure yours is too. Nobody knows where this is all headed. What do you think this will look like a year from now?
A year from now, I'm truly hoping that the trend of intimate weddings that really show the detail, and it is quality over quantity,
Yes.
becomes a trend that stays. Because when you have a gathering of 50 people that you really know and love, it means a whole lot more than if you have a gathering of 300 that you hardly even get to speak to them at your wedding. So
Yes.
I think it's more about the experience and the connection. So,
What's it like watching a bride have her special day and just knowing that everything's perfect and you were a part of that?
oh, it's incredible. It really is. And there's not one single wedding that has gone by, and we have 42 brides this year, that I do not cry at every single wedding.
Wow, that's
So
so
because
cool.
it's just, yes, you've held their hand for so many months, you've planned this with them, and to watch it come to fruition and their dream become true, it's just, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and you never take it for granted that although you do hundreds of these things, this is her one and only.
Absolutely, 100%, yes.
That's so cool. Well, you are awesome. We're going to put your website up so people can get in touch. BonAppetitYall.net is
Yes.
the website.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me. I
You
so
bet.
appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.